Grand Rising, beautiful family. So we talk a lot about healing and shadow work and stuff like that. And oftentimes people are like, "What shadow work? How do I heal myself? I'm willing to do it. I don't want to hurt. I don't want to keep in my same patterns. But how do I do that? Well, I'm gonna start with the definition of what a shadow is. This is what they say. It's a dark area or shape produced by a body coming between rays of light and a surface. And I said, Dag, that's an interesting definition considering how the shadow affects us. So I just kind of like had this epiphany like, it's like the ego is that body that comes in between the rays of light, your soul, and a surface, this 3D physical existence. Because everything about this existence is surface level. It's not ain't nothing deep about this conditioning and this matrix that we live in. Everything is surface, everything is material, everything is basic. Like all them people running around talking about basic bitches really are the basic bitches because you doing the bare basic shit of the matrix. Falling victim and prey to the bare basic conditioning and programming. You know what I'm saying? And the ones that have fallen victim to it because those the ones running around calling people basic bitches when they really are. Remember, everything is in reverse here. See how they got us. See how they got us. When the non-basic thing is going within. Ain't nothing basic about within you. What's in your soul? Man, think about that. Now I got off on something else. Got me all fired up and everything. I don't know that one just came on through. I was actually trying to talk about the shadow and doing the shadow work and how that ego, that conditioning though, the being a basic bitch is what comes in between you and the ego and your soul. And so that ego is the shadow. And the ego's a beast that you gotta crush. And it's not as hard as people like to make it. I feel like things are as hard as you want them to be or you allow them to be, your perception of what's hard. You know, yeah. So the shadow work though, the actual work that you're doing is going beneath that surface though. That's what the shadow work is. The shadow work is going beneath that ego. It's defined on Google as working with your unconscious mind to uncover the parts of yourself that you repress and hide from yourself, and that really is very true. That's what like that shadow is like doing the work is going beneath this surface conditioning, our basic bitch conditioning, because we all some basic bitches, let's just keep it real, because we all been conditioned, going beneath that conditioning within to get to the depth. Because I'm telling you, when you go within, ain't nothing basic up in here. It's all real. This is where the reality lies. So it's going in there, the things you are unconscious of. Like basically, it's our conditioning that we are unconscious of. And so that conditioning and our perception of it is like what drives us, is how, it's how we present ourselves to the world. It's everything that we do, think, feel, how we have relationships and everything with people. So it goes deep. It hits every facet of life, so the doing the shadow work is going beneath that ego and removing that conditioning. It's awakening honestly to the truth, to the unconscious, parts of your personality that your ego don't want to identify. The stuff you hide from the world and everything. Like your self-defeating behaviors and things like that, your emotional triggers and stuff, and it's it goes deep because they get us when we're kids, when we are able to absorb the most information, and we're the most impressionable with the information that we receive. So it's a it's an interesting thing, how they get us. And then you start with that conditioning, and it just creates more conditioning as you continue to go through life. And so doing that shadow work is, I mean, shadow work really is dissolving that ego. I mean, and you don't want to, like, kill the ego completely. I mean, you need some balance or whatever, but it's about getting out of that, that conditioning. And that is really how you heal yourself. And everything really does start with that meditation, though, you know um because that's how you get in touch with yourself. That's how you get within. That's how you thinking too much. You try to, like, just be quiet for a minute, and all these thoughts just flow and stuff like that. And people are always saying that, oh, my mind can't stop. I can't make my mind stop. You don't need to make your mind stop. Let those thoughts flow, so you can know what you're thinking about, so you can know where your mindset is. Because if it's constantly going with a myriad of things all day long, you really are not consciously aware of your perception of things, like the stuff you thinking about and everything. So that's what meditation can help us do. It can help us sort out what's inside of us, so that we can gain perspective of ourselves and what we need to change perspective on, the conditioning that we need to release. So it all begins there with meditation. I'm always say that. I'm always root everything, back to that, because that's the keys to the city of you. Keys to where your soul dwells is that meditation. That's your daily bread. That's what you got to eat every day. That's what you can't really survive without. And it's like, it's really what you can't live without, because we all surviving. But don't we want to live? The life is within you, and you exude it outward in this experience. So I'm gonna tell you some things about the shadow work. I'm gonna end this with saying a few things that will kind of look a little different to you when you're actually doing the shadow work, and when you healing. It's like things other people do, their behavior, like things that used to trigger you don't really trigger you anymore. um it's because your perspective has changed, and you've released some of the conditioning. So you're not triggered by certain things, especially when you go and you heal them, and you gain perspective on your wounds, and like the people that cause them and stuff like that. So certain things won't trigger you anymore. You don't do a whole lot of blaming people, and denial of the truth of yourself, and you don't blame people for who you are and the things that you've done, because you realize that you're responsible for yourself, and you're responsible for who you are, the creation of you. You judge other people a lot less, because it just comes this understanding. And when you start to lose some of the ego and break away from some of the conditioning, it becomes this understanding, like the behavior of other people. It doesn't bother you and trigger you so much, because you understand the conditioning and the ego that they're in, because at one point you was there too. So you can't really, like, judge people, you know what I'm saying, for being where you were. All you can do is maybe want to nudge them and say, hey, wake up. You know what I'm saying? But that's really, you have compassion for them, because you were once in that space, and so you get it. And then Another way to know that like you really doing the shadow work is that you recognize that your ass, your behavior has created somebody else's shadow work that they got to do. Real talk. You know what I'm saying? And so that roots back to you not playing that blame game anymore and being in denial about, yourself and who you really are. You know, you're not afraid to be seen. Hey, y'all. you know, and probably the most thing is that like all of those things happening that I just named creates this peace inside you and this peace in your life. And it's like no matter what's going on in my life around me, it's like there's this peace, this stillness, you know, deep waters run still. So it's like it's waves crashing all up here at the surface. And so if you look on the surface, that's what you see. But beneath that surface, I'm still and I'm peaceful because I know the soul knows. And so when you heal yourself, you know, we heal in the world when we take the time to heal ourselves. Real talk. You know, each one of us affect the vibration of this earth. Each one of us affects the other person. It's a domino effect. I mean, if you think about like the wounds and the shadows and stuff that we carry, and that like you're a part of somebody else's shadow work that they got to do, and then the person that caused your wound, who caused their wound, you see how this domino effect, and then we just go around like, touching each other, and so since we can't help touching each other, like, man, let's do this healing so we can touch each other with some unconditional love instead of, like reproducing wounds, like babies, So there'll definitely be more videos about this topic and everything. I didn't expect it to actually be this long, but this stuff kind of goes deep, that shadow work and everything. So don't forget to like the video. I always forget to say that. Share the videos if you like the messages and you think it could benefit someone else. Definitely share the videos, the reels, all of that. Find me on, all the little social media platforms and all that good stuff. So peace, family. Positive energy always creates elevation.